never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Happy Monday to everybody. Hard to believe that this is the final full week in the month of October. But today here on the channel, I want to discuss the greatest thing known to man, which is wrestling. If you have any thoughts, as always, please feel free to let me know. If you have any early thoughts or opinions on Monday Night Raw tonight, please feel free to go ahead and let me know in the comments section. And while you're there, like the video, give the video a thumbs up, and share it on all social media platforms. And the reason why I say early thoughts is because even though we have no idea what's going to happen, normally on about Thursday or Friday, WWE will release a small report that it'll say early plans for Monday Night Raw, and they'll have like 3 matches listed and a promo. So even though we don't know what's going to happen, we know some of the matches that will take place. But this past Saturday night, I was at 1200 Chivers Avenue in Buckhead, Georgia for Georgia Championship Wrestling Frightmare. That's right, I had Fightmare at SWA last Saturday, and then this past Saturday I had Frightmare for GCW. We had 8 matches on the card all together. As always, I had a wonderful time. Anytime I can be in a wrestling ring wearing the black and white stripes, it is a good time for me. Thanks to all the fans who came out and supported the show. And thanks to former WCW Monday Nitro commentator Scott Hudson for being the ring announcer for the night. GCW's next show is called Thanksgiving Star Wars. It'll be coming up on Saturday night, November the 18th. And as always, doors will open at 6:05 and bell time will be 7 o'clock. And this is normally where I come on here and go ahead and let you know where I'm going to be reffing at the upcoming weekend to give you a heads up. But this weekend, I am taking the weekend off due to family obligations, so no show Saturday and no show Sunday. But I'll be back in a wrestling ring coming up the following Saturday. But speaking of Monday Night Raw, there is a rumor going around that Monday Night Raw might be leaving Monday nights. I don't think it will. As a matter of fact, I'll be thoroughly shocked and surprised if it does. I know they are talking about it because right now they're talking about changing networks. But when you've been on the same night for 30 plus years, you've built a reputation for that night. Everybody that watches Raw knows what night it comes on. If you change nights, all of a sudden people might forget about you and not watch, not intentionally, just because, hey, you change nights, and Monday night they go to turn it on and it's not on, and then the night it comes on, they're used to watching something else, and then 10:30, 10:45, they're like, oh dang, Raw was on tonight. But I just think Monday night makes the most sense, not just because you've been on for 30 plus years on Monday nights, but also because if you pick Tuesday nights, then NXT has to change nights, and there's no point in making both shows change nights. I think Saturday and Sunday nights would both be a terrible night to have a weekly live wrestling show. And if you do it on Wednesday nights, it's going to look like you're trying to compete with AEW, and that makes no sense at all because in the TV ratings, WWE still wins and it's not close. So if you're beating them and what you're doing now, but all of a sudden you move to their night, it looks like you're competing with them. And then Thursday night's a bad idea because that's when Impact comes on, and it looks like you're trying to compete with Impact. So I just feel like Monday night is the best option, the best idea. So I do think it'll stay on Mondays unless it does go to a network that has a weekly show that comes on Monday nights, because then it might change nights. But other than that, I feel like it's going to stay on Mondays. But WWE is building towards Crown Jewel, which is the next premium live event. It comes up not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, November the 4th. And of course, shortly after that will be Survivor Series. And they are quickly building up Jade Cargill. She just signed with the company, and they're already pushing her to what looks like main event status. And of course, they're continuing to push LA Knight, but you have to push somebody who is extremely over like he is right now. And in other companies wrestling news, NWA just signed a deal with the CW Network. Now, I've mentioned here on the channel numerous times that I'm a huge fan of NWA, and I'm so glad they've got a major TV deal. For one, NWA has some great wrestling. For two, a lot of the Southern Fried wrestlers, such as Sal Rinauro and Judas, also wrestle for NWA. So it gives people who have not yet been to a Southern Fried show a chance to see some of the great talent Southern Fried has, with it being on CW. But it also will probably allow NWA to compete with AEW, because the CW network right now is the 19th most watched cable network, right behind TBS, which is 18th, and that's the channel that AEW comes on. So NWA signs a deal with the network that's right behind the network that carries AEW. So NWA should grow. But I've mentioned here on the channel before that the CW network is slowly turning into the new ESPN. They're already carrying college football. Matter of fact, the Clemson game this upcoming Saturday is going to be on the CW network. They're going to start carrying college basketball. I believe they're going to start carrying MMA. They're going to carry some NASCAR races next year. I don't know yet whether or not they're going to have a daily show on the network about sports, or if they're still going to be, the movies and TV shows during the week, during the day, and then sports at nighttime and weekends. But CW Network is slowly turning into a sports and entertainment network. And I'm so glad, because for years the network has just been absolutely awful. But the current NWA World Champion is EC3, who has wrestled for Impact and WWE. AEW is building toward Full Gear, which is coming up in a little bit less than a month on November the 18th in Inglewood, California. If you have not watched AEW lately, Sting officially, formally announced his retirement. It is set for AEW Revolution, which is their pay-per-view that's normally the end of February, first part of March. Well, Sting's birthday is in March, so by the time that happens, he's going to be almost 65. So I think it's about time for him to retire before he gets seriously hurt. But he said the 2015 retirement just didn't feel right. And I understand that. I get that because he wasn't ready to retire. He had to retire because Seth Rollins almost broke his neck. And every athlete in any sport wants to retire on their own time. So I understand him saying 2015 didn't feel right. So he's going out now on his own terms. So if you're a long-standing Sting fan, you better watch AEW for the next 4 or 5 months, because after that, there'll be no more Sting. And this past Saturday night, Impact Wrestling had Bound for Glory from Chicago, and former Impact commentators Mike Tenay and the late great Don West both went into the Impact Hall of Fame, and so did Tracy Brooks. And of course, if you do not know, she is married to Frankie Kazarian, so of course he was there as well, with Tracy going into the Impact Hall of Fame. But Bound for Glory, Saturday night, we saw the Impact debuts for Juventud Guerrera and Sonny Kiss. Now, Juventud Guerrera has been around forever. If you used to watch Monday Nitro, you know him from the Cruiserweight days on WCW. And Sonny Kiss just recently left AEW. We also saw the return of Matt Cardona to Impact Wrestling. Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich defeated Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Chris Sabin defeated Kenta for the X Division Championship. PCO beat Rhino, Steve Macklin, and Moose in a Monsters Ball match. The team that calls themselves ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, defeated the Rascals for the Impact Tag Team Championships. Will Ospreay defeated Mike Bailey. Jordan Grace won a 20-person intergender Call Your Shot gauntlet. And if you do not know what that is, it's basically the same thing as the Money in the Bank in WWE. You win the match and you call your shot as to what champion you want to face for what belt. Jordan Grace won. She's already challenged the Knockouts champion. Then we saw Trinity, who of course used to be Naomi in WWE. She defeated Mickie James for the Impact Knockouts World Championship. And then Alex Shelley beat Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship. And Impact also announced this past week that coming up around spring of next year, they are officially going back to TNA. Hard to believe that company has been around for almost 24 years. And the first 2 or 3 years they were around, it looked like they were going to struggle to reach 5 years. But it's about to be 24 years, and they're going strong. And I'm still hoping they get a TV network, kind of like NWA did with CW. Maybe not CW, but some kind of channel that everybody has, because right now the channel they're on, nobody has. And they've got so much great stuff going on with great wrestlers, but nobody knows about it because nobody has a channel that Impact comes on. So hopefully going back to TNA is a sign of things to come. And speaking of TNA, there's a lot of rumors going around, including some of the things Bully Ray said this past week that has folks believing that CM Punk is on his way to Impact, soon to be TNA. And I kind of sort of can see that because AEW is not going to bring him back. And I don't think that Triple H brings him back to WWE. So if he still wants to be involved in wrestling, about the only big-time place left to go is Impact. Any thoughts on this? As always, please feel free to let me know. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I had a female friend one time who burned all her bills. Her name was Bernadette. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.